Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive. We're going to be talking about Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker.
Ooh.
And this book is all about how, well, the title kind of says it all, how to think like a millionaire, right? How your mindset can affect your finances. And we're going to kind of dig into the main points of this book and maybe pull out some practical takeaways for our listeners.
Yeah, I think what's really interesting about this book is that Eker, he doesn't just talk about like specific financial strategies, like budgeting or investing, but he really goes deep into like the psychology
Yeah.
of wealth, Like what are the mental habits?
Mindset.
Yeah, the mindset,
Yeah.
exactly, that distinguish wealthy people from, well, everyone else.
Right. And so he calls this like the millionaire mind. So let's start there. What is this whole idea of the millionaire mind?
So the Millionaire Mind, it's not like some kind of like exclusive club.
Right.
It's more about a way of thinking, a set of beliefs and habits that anyone can learn. And Eker believes that these habits are what ultimately drive financial success.
Okay, so he also talks about this idea of a money blueprint. What is that all about?
Okay, so the money blueprint, you can think of it as this like
Like a plan.
yeah, like a plan, like a
A template.
yes, a template for how you view and handle money.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, we developed this blueprint early on in life, It's shaped by
Your parents.
our parents, yeah, our
Their
family.
experiences growing up.
Exactly. All those messages we hear about money as kids, like whether money is good or bad, whether it's scarce or abundant, all that stuff gets programmed into our subconscious.
So that's interesting. So like, for example, if your parents always stressed about money, you might unconsciously carry that same stress into adulthood.
Yeah. Like you could end up always feeling like there's not enough, even if you're actually doing okay financially.
Wow. It's kind of scary.
It's powerful stuff. And Eker says, he uses this analogy of a thermostat, He says, your money blueprint is like a thermostat
Okay.
that sets the upper limit for your financial success. Like, if your thermostat is set low, you're only going to be comfortable earning a certain amount of money.
So like you're self-sabotaging almost.
Exactly. Even if you have the skills and opportunities to earn more, you might unconsciously hold yourself back because your money blueprint is telling you that's not possible for you.
So is there any hope? Can we like reset our financial thermostat?
Eker definitely thinks so. And that's really the whole point of the book, right? To give people the tools to reprogram their money blueprint.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, the first step is awareness, right? You got to identify there's limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Things like, I'll never be rich, or money is the root of all evil. These kinds of thoughts, they're often running in the background, shaping our behavior without us even realizing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so once we're aware of these beliefs, how do we actually change them?
Well, that's where the work comes in. Eker talks about consciously replacing those limiting beliefs with more empowering ones. So instead of saying, I'm not good with money, you might say, I'm learning to manage my finances effectively. It's about shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset.
That makes sense. But how do we even figure out what those limiting beliefs are in the first place? You said they're often subconscious.
Right. It takes some digging, some reflection. Eker suggests thinking back to your childhood
Okay.
and really examining what messages you received about money growing up. What did your parents say about money? How did they handle it?
Right.
What were their financial habits? Because a lot of those early experiences really shape our money blueprint, even if we don't realize it.
That's interesting. I'm already starting to think about some of the things I heard growing up.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning. Eker goes even deeper into the mindset of wealth with what he calls the wealth files.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask about those. What are the wealth files?
So the wealth files are basically like 17 key principles.
Okay.
Or mental habits.
Mental habits.
Yeah, that distinguish rich people from, well, people who struggle financially. Eker studied the habits and beliefs of wealthy individuals.
Okay.
And he kind of distilled them into these actionable steps. And he believes that by adopting these principles, anyone can increase their chances of financial success.
So these are like secrets to the millionaire mind.
Exactly.
Cool. I'm ready to unlock those
I
secrets.
can do it.
So what are some of the key differences in how, rich people think? Like what sets them apart?
So a big one is their belief system. Wealth file #1 is this. Rich people believe I create my life,
Okay.
while poor people believe life happens to me. It's about taking responsibility.
So it's like an internal versus an external.
Exactly. It's like an internal locus of control versus external. Real people, they see themselves as the creators of their own destiny, while people who struggle financially, they often blame external factors.
So, for example,
So let's say you have a business deal that falls through. Someone with a poor mindset might say, oh, I just have bad luck, or the economy is against me.
right.
But a rich person would analyze what went wrong, learn from the experience,
Yeah.
and use that knowledge to make better decisions in the future.
So they don't dwell, they just look at it as like, okay, this happened, now how do I move forward?
Exactly. It's about taking control, not playing the victim.
Got it, got it. What else? What's another one of those wealth files?
Okay, so wealth file, #2, is all about focus. Rich people focus on opportunities, while poor people focus on obstacles.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this one's huge. It's like, two people can look at the exact same situation, and one will see all the potential, while the other only sees the problems.
Can you give us like a real life example of that?
Sure, imagine an economic recession.
Uh-oh.
Right. So a lot of people are going to panic, right? They're going to focus on job losses and the stock market crashing. But a rich person, they might see that same recession as an opportunity, right?
To buy.
To buy low, exactly, or maybe to start a business that caters to the changing needs of the market. They see the potential where others only see their risks.
So it's all about perspective.
It is. It's about training your mind to see the possibilities, even in challenging situations.
I like that. Okay, what's another wealth file we should be aware of?
All right, so this one's a big one. Wealth file, #3. It's about thinking big. Rich people think big, while poor people think small.
Okay.
They're not afraid to set audacious goals.
Shoot for the stars.
Yeah, shoot for the stars. Exactly. They don't let fear or limiting beliefs hold them back. They think in terms of exponential growth, not just incremental improvements.
So how does that translate into action?
Well, think about an entrepreneur, right?
Okay.
Someone with a limited mindset might be content with just having like a small local business,
Right.
But a rich person, they'd be thinking, how can I scale this? How can I reach a national or even global audience? They're thinking bigger.
So it's about having a vision
Yeah.
and then like making it happen, like taking the steps to...
It's not just wishing and hoping. It's about strategizing, taking action, and making it happen.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we've got what I create my life. We've got focus on opportunities, not obstacles. And we've got think big. Any others that are really essential?
Yeah, there's one more I want to highlight, and it's a bit of a mind shift.
Okay.
So wealth file, #4. Rich people choose to get paid based on results,
Okay.
while poor people choose to get paid based on time.
Interesting distinction.
Right. So most people, they trade their time for money, right?
Right, working for an hourly wage or a salary?
Exactly. But wealthy people understand that real wealth, it comes from creating value,
Okay.
not just clocking in hours.
So what do you mean by that?
So think about it. Entrepreneurs, investors, even artists, they're all getting paid based on the outcomes they generate.
Right, so if their venture is successful,
They reap the rewards.
they get the big payoff. But if it fails,
Well, they bear the
we
responsibility.
take the hit. Yeah. So the different kind of risk.
Exactly. It's about shifting from that scarcity mindset of selling your time to an abundance mindset of creating value and getting rewarded for it.
Wow. These wealth files are already making me think differently about my own financial habits. Like a whole new way of looking at things.
That's the power of the millionaire mind.
But it's not just about adopting these mental habits, right?
Mm.
Eker also talks about the importance of commitment.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
He says that wealthy people, they don't just dream about success. They decide they're going to be wealthy, and then they back it up with unwavering action.
So like no half measures.
No half measures, exactly. And he tells this really cool story about, Hernan Cortez, the Spanish conquistador. So when Cortez landed in Mexico, you know what he did? He burned his ships.
Whoa.
Yeah, like no turning back.
Yeah.
They were either going to conquer the new land or perish trying. That's commitment.
Okay, so is he suggesting we need to be that extreme with our financial goals?
Well, maybe not literally burning our ships,
Mhm.
but he is saying that achieving significant goals requires that level of dedication, where you eliminate all other options. You go all in. You decide this is what you're going to do, and there's no plan B.
That's intense.
Mm.
I like it. But for those of us who haven't quite reached that, burn the ships level of commitment yet, where do we even start?
He poses a really good question. What are you truly committed to in your financial life? Not just what you want, but what you're willing to sacrifice for, fight for, and never give up on.
That's a good question, and I think that's a good place to stop for today. This deep dive is already giving me a lot to think about.
Yeah, we've only scratched the surface.
I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Me too. You know what I find fascinating about Eker's book is it's not just about money, right? It's really about how having a wealthy mindset impacts like all areas of your life.
He really emphasizes that.
Yeah, like he talks about how rich people and people who struggle financially, they often approach things like risk,
Risk, yeah.
education.
Even self-promotion, totally differently.
Yeah, it's like a whole different worldview.
So let's break that down. Like, what are some of those key differences? Let's start with risk. How do wealthy people think about risk differently?
So for those with a millionaire mind, risk is just a part of the game.
Yeah.
They know you can't achieve big returns without stepping outside of that comfort zone.
So they're not afraid of it?
Not necessarily afraid of it, they just see it differently.
Okay.
They're more likely to assess it, calculate it, and then take calculated risks, you know?
So they're not being reckless. They're just more comfortable with
Exactly.
stepping outside their comfort zone.
And they see risk as a potential path to greater rewards.
Makes sense. But what about people who struggle financially?
Well, they often shy away from risk altogether, you know?
Because it's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. They're afraid of losing what they have.
Yeah.
So they might stay in a job that's, not really fulfilling or pass up on potentially lucrative opportunities because security feels more important than potential growth.
Right. So it's that fear of loss that's holding them back.
Yeah. And it's interesting how that mindset just permeates so many areas of life, even education.
Oh, okay. How so? How do wealthy people approach education differently?
They see education as an ongoing process. It's
Got it.
not just about, getting a degree and then you're done.
Right.
It's about constantly learning and improving.
So they're always reading books, taking courses.
Yeah, they're investing in their knowledge and skills. They get mentors.
Yeah, constantly upgrading.
Because they see that as an investment in their future.
Not as an expense.
Exactly. And that's a key difference.
Right. So it ties back to that growth mindset we talked about.
Totally. It's like the learning never stops for them.
I like that. The learning never stops.
Yeah.
What else? What other differences come to mind?
Well, this one might surprise you. Rich people are generally very comfortable with self-promotion.
Really? I feel like a lot of people, myself included, are kind of awkward about, tooting their own horn.
Yeah, there's definitely a stigma around it, right? We're taught not to brag.
Right. Be humble.
But those with a wealth mindset, they see self-promotion as something different.
How so?
They see it as sharing their gifts with the world,
Okay.
letting people know about the value they bring, because they understand that if you want to be successful, you can't just sit back and wait for opportunities to come to you. You have to go out there and create them.
So they're not afraid to put themselves out there, to network, to make connections.
Exactly, and to talk about their accomplishments.
Because they see it as a way to create mutually beneficial opportunity.
Precisely. And meanwhile, people with a scarcity mindset, they might hold back.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of being judged or being seen as arrogant.
Yeah, or coming across as salesy.
Exactly. And then they miss out on opportunities.
It's like that whole thing about, closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't ask, you don't get right.
Right. It's about putting yourself out there, and that can be uncomfortable. But it's essential if you want to achieve big things.
So Eker's really highlighting how these mindsets extend beyond just our finances.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He talks about how wealth, or the lack thereof, can impact our relationships, our health.
Our whole sense of well-being.
Exactly. Like he has this whole chapter on the psychology of wealth where he argues that true wealth is really a state of mind.
Okay, so more than just a number in your bank account.
Exactly. It's about feeling abundant and prosperous in all areas of your life.
So feeling secure, feeling empowered.
Yeah, and also feeling comfortable with money, like not seeing it as something evil or taboo.
Right, because there's a lot of baggage around money for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A lot of people have these ingrained beliefs that rich people are greedy or that money corrupts, and that can really hold them back.
Yeah, for sure.
And Eker argues that wealthy individuals, they don't see money as the end goal, right?
Okay.
They see it as a tool to create freedom and to live a more fulfilling life.
So it's about what money can do for you.
Exactly. The experiences it can provide, the opportunities it can unlock.
The impact you can make.
Yeah, the impact you can make, exactly.
So it's not about chasing dollars.
Yeah.
It's about using money as a way to
live a life of purpose.
live a life of purpose, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also about balance, right? It's not about becoming obsessed with money or letting it rule your life.
Totally. Eker stresses the importance of balance in all areas of life. Health, relationships, personal growth.
Okay,
It's about creating a life of richness and fulfillment, not just financial wealth.
that makes sense, yeah. It's about having your whole life in order. And that kind of leads us to another key concept from the book, the law of income. What is that all about?
Oh, this is a big one. So the law of income states that your income can grow only to the extent that you do.
Okay, so what does that mean, practically speaking?
It means that if you want to earn more, you need to invest in yourself.
So like education, skills, personal development, networking.
Yep, all of that. Because ultimately, your earning potential is directly tied to your own growth and development. So the more you learn, the more you improve, the more valuable you become, the more you can earn.
Hmm. So it's not just about working harder. It's about working smarter.
Exactly. And it's about becoming the best version of yourself.
So it's like you're constantly leveling up.
Yes, exactly. You're leveling up your skills, your knowledge, your mindset.
I love that. So it's not about being stuck where you are. It's about always striving to
Always striving.
improve and grow.
And people with a millionaire mind, they get that.
Mm-hmm.
They're always looking for ways to expand their capabilities.
So they're not just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. They're actively creating their own success.
Precisely. And, it's not just about acquiring knowledge. It's about putting that knowledge into action, taking risks, experimenting, learning from your mistakes.
So you're saying failure is part of the process.
Oh, absolutely. Eker talks about how successful people, they see failure as a stepping stone to success, not as a reason to give up.
It's a learning opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. It's all part of the journey.
Okay, so we've talked about mindset, about personal growth, but what about the actual money management part?
Oh, yeah, he definitely covers that too.
Okay, good.
He's got a whole section on managing your money where he talks about things like budgeting, saving, investing.
Even managing debt.
Yes, all the practical stuff. He's not just about the mindset, he also gives you concrete tools and strategies to manage your finances effectively.
So even if you have the right mindset, you still need to have a plan.
Absolutely. He stresses the importance of tracking your income and expenses, creating a budget that works for you, and setting aside a portion of your earnings for savings and investments.
So it's about being intentional with your money.
Exactly. He's not advocating for, reckless spending or anything like that.
Right, get-rich-quick schemes.
No, it's about being responsible, making smart choices, but also being open to opportunities for growth and abundance.
So it's like finding that balance between, being cautious and being open to new possibilities.
Yes, exactly. It's about having a balanced approach. And one of the things he talks about that I find really inspiring is this idea of financial freedom.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
It's not just about being rich. It's about having the freedom to live your life on your own terms, to pursue your passions, to spend time with your loved ones, to make choices that align with your values without being constrained by financial limitations.
That's powerful. So it's about having enough money to do what you want.
Yeah, and also having the time and the flexibility to do it.
So it's not just about the money. It's about what the money can do for you.
Exactly. It's about creating a life where you're not trapped by financial worry.
Where you have the resources to support your dreams.
Yeah, and to live a life of purpose.
Wow. This is a lot to take in.
I know, right? There's so much in this book.
But it's all good stuff.
It is. And it's really empowering because it shows you that no matter what your financial situation is right now, you have the power to change it.
Yeah, you have the power to create a more abundant life for yourself.
Exactly. It really is. And if I had to boil down Secrets of the Millionaire Mind to one core message,
Okay.
it's that our financial reality it's mostly a reflection of our mindset.
Oh, interesting.
If we want to change our financial future,
Yeah.
we got to start by changing our beliefs and habits.
About money.
About money,
So
exactly.
it's not about luck or circumstance.
It's about, taking control of our financial destiny by shifting our thinking.
And that's what Eker's book helps us do, right?
Yeah, it gives us a framework.
Roadmap.
Yeah, a roadmap, exactly.
Yeah.
He doesn't just tell us to think positive. He gives us actual tools and strategies to actually rewire our money blueprint.
Yeah. He gives us those wealth files.
Right. And we talked about the contrasting ways, rich people versus poor people approach risk and opportunity.
The law of income. That was a big one.
Huge, right.
So much good stuff.
It is. It's a lot to digest.
It is.
But the good news is
Okay, tell me.
you don't have to become a millionaire tomorrow.
Right.
Eker emphasizes taking it
One step at a time.
one step at a time. Exactly.
So start small.
Start small. Maybe it's just becoming more aware of your self-talk around money.
Yeah, like what are you saying to yourself?
Yeah, like what are those negative thoughts that are
hmm
kind of running in the background, maybe holding you back?
What are those limiting beliefs that we talked about earlier?
Exactly. Or maybe it's finally creating that budget you've been putting off, or picking up a book on investing to learn more.
Expand your financial knowledge.
Right. Small changes can make a big difference over time.
It's those little habits.
It's those little habits, it's consistency.
Yeah, consistency is key.
It's not about like these overnight
It's a
transformations.
journey.
Yeah, it's a journey. It's about like steady progress.
And I think what I appreciate about Eker's approach too is that it's not just about money
Yeah.
for the sake of money.
You know.
It's about like living a fulfilling life.
He emphasizes that true wealth, it's a state of mind.
Yeah.
It's that feeling of abundance that extends to all areas of your life.
It's holistic.
It is holistic. It is, yeah.
So it's not just about like having a big bank account.
Right. It's about feeling abundant and prosperous in all aspects of your life.
hmm
Your relationships, your health, your sense of purpose.
Yeah, and he really encourages readers to ask themselves, like,
Yeah.
what does a rich life
Yeah.
look like to you? Is it about travel? Is it about philanthropy? Is it about creative pursuits? Is it about, spending time with loved ones?
Because money, at the end of the day, is a tool to help you achieve those goals.
A means to an end.
Exactly.
It's not the end goal itself.
It's about aligning your financial goals with your values.
Yeah, and what's important to you?
And even if someone's listening and they're a little skeptical
Yeah.
about some of Eker's ideas, which is totally fine. I
Yeah.
think there's value in just becoming more aware.
Mindset.
Yeah, of your own beliefs and habits around money.
Because sometimes we don't even realize what we're doing.
Exactly. It's like shining a light on those unconscious patterns that might be holding us back.
Yeah.
And once we see them, we can start to change them.
That's where the real transformation begins.
Yeah. And that's what Secrets of the Millionaire Mind really gives us, the tools to make that transformation.
Yeah, well, this has been an amazing deep dive. We've learned so much about the psychology of wealth and those steps we can take to create more abundance in our lives.
Yeah. And before we go, we'd love for you all to think about this. If, as Eker argues, wealth starts in the mind, what's one small shift you can make today to start attracting more abundance into your life?
That's a great question for everyone to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Until next time, keep those millionaire minds in gear.